Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Death of Hawkman, issue number 4 of 6. Man, we're past the middle part, and it is a freaky book, guys. This is insane. Despero. Despero is the main bad guy here. I pointed that out last week. It was the big reveal, but his plan is insane. He actually siphoned the Zeta Beam. That's how come the Zeta Beam wasn't working so well. He's been siphoning the energy of it. We thought that Alana's father, that's Adam Strange's wife's father, so his father-in-law. Anyway, we thought that he was killed in that initial attack in the first issue. Nope, he was kidnapped. He was actually kidnapped by Despero, their leading scientist, and he's the one who's programming the Zeta Beam. So this huge portal, Hawkman and Adam Strange, this is before the beginning of the comic. I hate when they jump around like that, but it's starting to make sense, more sense now, I should say. And what's happening is he's got this portal that's so big that with the Zeta Beam, he's able to transport an entire army any place that he wants, anytime he wants. So they're like, oh my god, he can attack Rand again. He can attack Thanagar. But wait, I understand why he would want Rand, because he wants the Zeta Beam. But why exactly does he want Thanagar? He just wants to renew an old battle? Like, what's the point of it? And he realizes that on one of the moons of Thanagar, there was a new deposit of Thanagarian nth metal detected. Now, they've been mining it recently. There's at least 9 mine shafts, so it's a pretty big deposit. And nth metal hasn't been mined on anywhere around Thanagar for a very long time, so this is actually kind of a big deal. Well, it turns out that he wants to take what's inside the mines. He wants to take the nth metal, and it surrounds him in this huge bubble, and now Despero is an nth metal being. He's got it all around him except for his head, but it's living, so who knows? I mean, for crying out loud, he's got his mind control powers, his telepathy powers. He could probe the mind of Kadar Hall or anybody he wants and learn how to actually make the nth metal function the same way that Hawkman can do it, which is kind of creepy, kind of scary. But this comic is also, as I've been pointing out in the previous 3 issues, it's very political. And it's in a very good way. There's a part in here where there's a TV talk show host on Ran who sat down and talked with Alana. She is now pretty much, along with Parliament, in charge of all of Ran. So she's the #1 figurehead. And the lady actually asked some serious questions of Alana. She actually asked, like, you know, do you think that this is okay? There's no proof. No concrete proof that Thanagar actually attacked us. And she says, how dare you ask me that question? Aren't the bodies enough? And the reporter, she actually, you know, challenges her back, and she says, how dare I? Excuse me, I'm not the one asking millions of Ranians to go and attack what is potentially an innocent planet full of people, and asking our own people to sacrifice their lives over what could be the wrong enemy. So it's actually really good, because let's be realistic, guys. Anybody who actually still watches regular TV and watches the news, when do reporters actually ask these questions anymore? Yeah, political science 101 at Comic Book University here, but I never hear reporters asking hard questions anymore. There's no such thing as an investigative reporter anymore. And here in the comic books, they're kind of reminding us what it means to ask the hard questions, to hold people accountable for their actions. Our leaders are not benevolent beings who are never wrong. No, they're humans just like anybody else, and sometimes we need those hard questions to be asked, and if the reporters aren't going to ask them, who will? So this struck a very, very solid chord in my heart, and yeah, this comic gets an A. Just for that alone. I mean, the whole comic was good. It's a solid comic. But that alone, even if the comic book was horrible, I'd still at least give it an A-. But no, giving this an A. Love this comic. Love what it represents. Love the innuendos of what we're really supposed to be. And the mistakes that we can make even with a lifelong enemy. Anyway, guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.